Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Truth by Billie Beene special report on today's date 11/14/2022. This is my third YouTube channel. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Episode 462. Some of the things we'll be covering. Wash your money in FTX. Two teams, the D's and the RR's, imitate baseball and steal bases. And did the U.S. military recently stop a nuke attack on the U.S.? Let's get to it. Some of my sources are God and the Bible, Patriot subscribers, CA Christoferou, Israeli News Live, Real Raw News, RepublicanWorld.com, 107, Hal Turner Plus. So let's get started. Okay. Recently, that was November the 8th, we had what was termed the midterm elections in the U.S. Example, we had in 2020, we had a so-called E, and we patriot citizens who are awake and aware understand that this wasn't a real E. It really imitated baseball in some aspects. Okay, so the midterms, it came about November 8, 2022. And the purpose of the midterms is to reconstitute Congress. We have a House and we have a Senate. And usually it's about 1/3 of the Senate, and that's 1/3 of 100 senators. And usually it's about a majority of the House, which has 435 members. So what we saw happen this year was something that imitated baseball. And in baseball, we know that we have a baseball diamond, we have a home, we have first base, second base, third base. Oh, in baseball, though, if you're really good, you can hit the ball here, go to first, and if the fielders are distracted, well, you can steal a base and maybe go all the way home. I've seen that happen before. Of course, that was younger teams, but that's happened. Now we have a case in the U.S., in our political environment, where we have supposedly two teams, Republicans, Dems. Now, we do have a small group called Independents, but basically it's these two teams, but there's an overlap to this area called the RRs, Rhino Republicans, who are essentially part of the Dems. They, take certain things along the way, just like all the Dems do. Now, we have this situation coming up with FTX can wash your money. And what happened was we have Ukraine, we have the U.S. Congress made up of the Dems and the RRs, basically. And we know we have that actor puppet avatar for the deep state. All right, sent money to Ukraine. And they said, and we recall in the earthquake that took place a few years ago in Haiti, we had two of the so-called leaders of the U.S., Bush and Clinton, come out and say, oh, you want to donate to the people of Haiti? Well, send us your money and we'll direct it, Bush and Clinton. And we now know it just went straight into their pockets. The same thing happened with this money going to Ukraine. This FTX was set up as a crypto, and the evil and corrupt U.S. government said to citizens around the world, send us your money that you want to send to the people in Ukraine and to their children, and we'll be happy to take it. And the steal had been planned from the beginning. Now we know that JB, the actor puppet, just this summer sent pallets of money into Warsaw that was then picked up by the Ukraine government. That information came from Dr. William Mount. Billions over, I think it's right at $100 billion US from the American people went here and then was invested in this crypto FTX group to wash the money. And now, after the midterms are over with, November 8, on November 10, the CEO of FTX resigned and it declared bankruptcy. Oh, but you wonder what happened to all the billions of dollars that they took in from the U.S. government and other sources. Well, it all came back to the U.S., to the Dems, the Republicans, the RRs, to these two teams, because it takes a lot of money to steal bases. Now, in the past, some of the great baseball players to steal bases are Billy Hamilton of the Cincinnati Reds, Dee Gordon of the Miami Marlins, Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros. So, the Dems and the RRs are trying to imitate baseball and steal bases. So they use the money that was washed through FTX to go to the states to pay off a lot of people. It takes a lot of money as opposed to athletic skill to steal bases in the world of politics. So they go to the state, they have to pay off the governor, they have to pay off all the people that are involved in the process, from the state down to the local. Yeah, and oh, let's not forget the U.S. Post Office, who handles those mail-in ballots. Let's not forget that. So it takes a lot of money, and it was washed through FTX, and now it's served its purpose. So FTX and the CEO takes his or her money and runs. So that's been going on. Now, we have this. We have President Trump to make an announcement November 15. I'd like to put forth a few things here. In the U.S. population, we have about 330 million people. 80% are awake and aware, about 240 million. Of those, about 100 million are actively organized in militias. And why do you say would the American citizen patriots organize themselves in militias? It's because we don't trust our government. Absolutely not, at any level. You have to personally know people to know whether they're good or evil. Now, President Trump is supposedly going to come out and make an announcement November 15, saying it's being put forth. The announcement is he's going to run in 2024. I submit to you that is way too late. President Trump needs to be coming out and making a political statement that's relevant to what's going on right now in the United States of America. Because look, the American citizen patriots are awake and aware, and we've seen the D's and the RRs imitating baseball and stealing bases. So yeah, that's going on. Now, let's get to some good news. I submit to you that the U.S. military, which I believe is the greatest military in the history of the world, recently saved the U.S. from being nuked, and I'll give you the details. Okay, I had a previous video, I'll link that for you, that talked about we have Ukraine, Russia, here's the North Atlantic Ocean, we have the U.S. Okay, so we have that report on November 7 that the U.S. military all over the U.S. was pinging its nuke subs all over the world. Normally they have 3 to 5 per day. That came from 107, and it was up to 11. When it was up to 11 in Britain, the security people rushed in and took Rishi Sunak, the current leader of Britain, off stage, we believe, to a bunker. And then it went up from on November 7 from 11 to 14 pings. And then we understand from November 7 to about November 9, we had 32 pings in 48 hours. What was going on? Was the United States in danger of a nuclear attack? I submit that there's a possibility that was true. Now, let's look at what happened. So we were to understand that during this process, there was a British nuke sub on fire. Okay, so we have this information coming out now that the British nuke sub that was on fire was the HM Victorious, and it had Trident subs on it, and it was in the North Atlantic on a super secret mission. And the cover story was the nuke and its sonar array ship, the HMS Northumber, were both hit by a Russian sub. I submit to you that that was a coordination of the white hats in the U.S. military and the white hats in the Russian military, who took out this British nuke that was in the North Atlantic. And what was its purpose? I believe its purpose was to send nukes into the U.S. Let's get that World War III scenario rolling. So now we had the big steal we saw November 8. So I submit, if President Trump comes out and makes some kind of announcement November 15, it would be good if he addresses the issues the American people currently have with both the government in the U.S., the underhanded, evil politics that are going on, and this clear and present danger to the American people and to our children. So, but let's recall, God is in charge, and I think we can see that God orchestrated this and certainly had a hand in protecting the people of the United States of America. I love you, and I'll see you soon.